whatever it is. Was it Easter? Happy Easter. In other words, welcome to our studios. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Mr. Gbali is also the leader of the Simplified Movement in Oyigbo. And we're going to have an interesting conversation this morning. I've been meaning to have him on the show because Rivers people have been asking me, and I have been telling them that I don't have these answers. We would find the gentleman who has the answers, and then we'll send them to you. So we would let's start off with what's most recent in the state. With regards to the governor. But before we get into that, please, if you just tuned in, it's the Morning Crossfire. You can join the conversation. We're streaming live on all our platforms on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH, on X, Nigeria Info PH, so you can watch us and listen to us from wherever you are. And importantly, you can download the Nigeria Info FM app on Apple or Google Play Store. All right, all of that out of the way. Let's come to the most recent event. The governor, 1 year it is. We've seen commissioning, we've seen flag off of projects. And many would help but wonder what projects the governor would have in mind for young people, especially in your ministry. So tell us. And in fact, what became very pressing this morning was the comment by the governor again yesterday, when he said he started governance from February. Now, there are many people who have, looked at that comment and say, I don't understand, you've been in office for 1 year, so why are you saying that you start work from February?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Rivers people, and especially my constituents, Rivers youth. It's yet another opportunity to be on air. If you remember or recall, for a while now, we had soft pedal, courtesy of the fact that we're trying to close out a few things for Rivers youth. And today, I'm happy to announce that, and that is why I'm here. Basically, over time, we have judged governance as infrastructure to be brick and mortar. But today, you have a governor that is changing the narrative, and that's why I'm proud to be here. If you hear me, the governor saying yesterday that 4 months. 4 months is the practicability of his governance. If you recall, the conundrum that heralded his administration from the onset was a serious hiccup that the governor could not take decisions on his own, and apparently stalled all the activities of state, especially as it has to do with youth and other sectors. But today, after the presidential peace accord and the subsequent issues that is even the lawmakers that try to atrociously stall activities with the atrocious vicissitude, eventually the court made a pronouncement, and today we have a legislative arm, the fulcrum of politics, the fulcrum of development, the fulcrum of democracy, up and running, led by the Right Honorable Okojombo Victor. And so that's why Governor now has the leverage to give Rivers people that much anticipated dividends of democracy.
There are those who question, like, if the governor is saying the work started from February, governance in this case, then some people ask, were we not getting allocations? Were we not getting IGR in the other months before February, in the past 9 months to February? Was the governor then saying that in those times there were nothing, no plans, the money was not used for anything? Or some people begin to ask these questions. Was that the case? Or can you perhaps explain for us exactly what the governor meant by governance wasn't a thing until February? Was it that the monies were there but he couldn't do what he needed to do? Or the monies did not come at all? Or what exactly?
Exactly. If you hear me, like I said, the monies were coming. But, our governor is pristine. He's someone that you can adjudge to be sublime in his character. He's somebody, and that is, I'll come to that. That is his sin. That is his problem. The problem is that he's trying to demystify governance. He's trying to tell the people the way it is. Not the more you look, the less you see in our local plans. So those, like I said, conundrum, those obstacles made him not to do what he ought to do. What he now did was resorting to saving the money, putting the money together. And now, after all the waves and all of those, we hit the ground running. And that is why you're seeing this wave the rising tide of peace and still waters of prosperity in Rivers State. And all the sectors, youth especially, which is the icing on the cake, not left out. And I'm going to speak to that in a few moments.
Because you mentioned saving the monies and the tides of peace, let me just quickly link that up to the local government situation. I mean, just on the news this morning, we heard that a court in Port Harcourt had said that the assembly led by Martin Ameole at the time, with the plans to extend the tenures of amending the local government laws to extend the tenures of local government council chairmen, was something that the court had said cannot stand because I think about 2 council chairmen, if I'm not mistaken, also went to court with it. The council chairman also, Algon, had come out to say their monies were being by the state government. Is that the case? Is that the reality on ground? Was it part of the saving that the government was looking at, or part of the government couldn't get into governance at the time?
If you may recall, Excellency, in one of the commissioning a couple of days ago, I think the penultimate one said that he's the governor that has been vilified by even a local government chairman. This governor does not have any interest whatever in the local government administration. I recall that I was the former caretaker chairman under the immediate past administration. We were invited, and it's the practice. They will reel out, outline what you're entitled to. As a chairman, you don't even have right to do what you are supposed to do. But this is a governor that did not meddle into...
That was on the past administration.
Yes, I was a caretaker chairman. If you
recall. You couldn't do...
You cannot. We were invited even with our principal officers.
But the council chairman always said then the government at the time never touched their monies and they got all their monies.
Of course, I declared and I said that government was the more you look, the less you see it. I don't want to go far because you also recall that during the elections, we had to go, everybody go and buy form, councillor go and buy form, chairman go and buy form. At the end of the day, what you see is one form for one chairmanship in that local government, one form for a councillor. I don't want to go into that. We appreciate all the gains of it, but what I'm saying is that there is no interference whatsoever. Governor does not even have time.
But what about the monies that Emoha council chairman?
They are looking for what to hold on to. I always tell people, if your salary is enough, your overtime will not be enough for you. The local government chairman, they are commissioning projects now, the twilight now. If you go and see what is going on, even my local government commissioned yesterday, because they've seen that plot did not see the light of the day. If their monies away or taking, how do they get the money in this very precarious time we have in our polity to do projects? And of course, before they do project, they would have satisfied their cronies and themselves and their families.
So their monies were not held at all.
Nothing like
any
that.
Months.
Nothing like that.
Even with the issue that the accusations from Algon and some of the council chairmen that the governors seem to be working directly with the workers to get their salaries across to them and bypassing a constitutionally recognized office, which is that of the council chairman.
I can say that that's a super story. If you've been that seat of local government chairman, anytime you hear the federal allocation FAC drop, you have a range, an average of what comes into your local government. If I open my mouth and tell you what this chairman...
So please give us an idea. We need to
know. It's
not out of place if we know... because there are people who are also calling the council chairman to say they don't think they are doing enough.
It's not commensurate
with the monies
with what
that
they are getting at all.
But we don't have an idea of how much they are getting.
I think it's there. You can assess
while you were caretaker chairman.
Yes.
How much was coming?
When I was caretaker chairman about 7 years ago, 2016.
In your council?
Yeah, they've not removed fuel subsidy, and so the metamorphosis they've seen in the allocation now wasn't there at the time. So, but again, we're able to do something. Whilst even at that meager allocation, we're able to do significant things. Go to EIGBO, you can find out. We're constructing roads. We were doing a whole lot on human development, which is, for me, the driving force of every development is human development. So we did a lot, and the money now metamorphosed with the presidential pronouncement of removal of fuel subsidy. And what they are getting now is like 4 of the usual.
And nobody's interfering with it, just like nobody interfered with
the governor doesn't even have time. If you see him, governor can be adjudged to be a man of candor, a man that wants everybody. Of course, you see him, he's exhibiting it. He's not just saying it; he's doing it.
But then the politics at the moment in the state is a concern because I mean all of these things happening now makes it has the undertone of politics in it, and whether we like it or not, it's an open secret that there's a clear divide, and there are talks of those supporting the FCT minister, those supporting the governor, and witch hunt against those who are supporting the FCT minister or those who are supporting the governor, and some people even accusing the government of spending money for Thanksgivings across various local governments. Are these all political moves to perhaps plan ahead of 2027? Because we've also heard the FCT minister say that he made mistakes and by 2027 he will correct it. What is the implication of the politics that we're seeing in River State now on governance?
Well, like I said earlier, for the time for politics is gone. We are now for governance.
Doesn't look that way.
Yeah, it does. Government is on daily basis commissioning of projects. Even the one I'm coming to tell you now is part of it. Let me tell you what happened. Life is a natural succession. And no matter how beautiful and eloquent we can speak on this set, right, we will have a time to live. We have a limited time. For you to realize that your time is limited, the better for you. That's what songwriter Mozart said, that to speak well and eloquently is a great art, but also a great one is when to stop. Now, the past administration refused to understand that life is a natural succession. That even if it's your son that you make a heir or a CEO of your company, you should allow your son to exhibit those attributes of a CEO and not interfering. That's the difference between River State and other states. Now, the governor is mainstreaming everybody. Say, everybody come, let's do it together. Because, like a wise man once said, that true leaders are not perturbed by wise people around them. They are rather encouraged. So the governor is someone who absorbs everybody, is ready to mainstream everybody. But that's what they said he should not do. Those are his sins. These people fought against us. They, of course, you know, you
don't know because we're not even very sure what caused the rift.
What is
behind the rift? We don't know. Even
behind the rift is the former administration led by His Excellency Wike refusing to allow the man to exhibit the powers of a governor. Just look at these 4 months, like we are referencing. That governor has come out to do what he's supposed to do. Are you not seeing?
All right, hold that thought. We'll take a commercial. When we come back, we'll continue on this, and then plans for youth.
Mom's love is pure. It's so no she died.
Good morning. Morning Crossfire continues. Chisom Gbali, the Commissioner for Youth Development and Employment, is also the leader of the Simplified Movement in Igbo. The conversation is ongoing, and there's quite a lot you must have heard from the first half of it. We'll be getting onto the phone line shortly to take your questions and responses. Remember, on Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, on X, Nigeria Info PH, on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH. The WhatsApp number is 0809 030 Now, before the break, we were looking at the politics and a few things that many were trying to figure out what exactly was even behind the rift. And you were trying to highlight on some things. Now, there are speculations and rumors. Some of them confirmed, some not confirmed. One of those, and I would like to clarify for us, there were many who said that the governor was not in charge of his administrative appointment, because we even had some commissioners who would say that they recognized the FCT minister as their leader. He nominated them. But then there are those who say the minister did not nominate everybody for the governor's cabinet. But then most of the commissioners that we saw, we know that they served under the former governor. Was this the case? Because you had said in the course of the conversation that, well, you wouldn't say that you did not benefit because you're a caretaker chairman in the time when the FCT minister was governor. So was this the case, or was it that people are just blowing things out of proportion?
I'm a young man, and I can tell you anything I tell you today. Of course, we are all contemporaries. You will meet some other time and you confirm facts. What I'm saying is empirical. Everybody in His Excellency Sassimini Alaye's administration, prior to this form, like we are referencing, was appointed by nominated. If I say appointed, it won't be far from the truth. Nominated by the former governor, including myself. I can tell you what, from the ADC, from the secretary to government, from attorney general, every one of us were nominated by the former governor.
Didn't the governor have powers to say, no, he's not going to appoint this
no,
person?
It's
just a nomination.
I've said, the governor is not a regular politician. The governor is a man of candor, a man pristine, a man that is too good to a fault. And that was why Rivers people came out in their numbers, to brace up and start the challenges of state. And now he's doing it. I can tell you, the governor was not even ready to join issues with his predecessor. He was ready until he got to his neck, to the extent that we will call for a ISCO meeting and the governor will be recorded and sent to the former minister. The governor will have a visitor before you get to the second gate of the government house. Is already there.
What's that?
A formation disseminated, passed to where they pledge their loyalty. Some of us came up and said that no, even though we are coming from here, let us uphold what is the truth. And the truth is that, who is the governor? When we had His Excellency Nyesom Wike as the governor, nobody interfered. We virtually were like subjects, and nobody could. In your studio here, go and see the records. Traditional rulers could not even advise the governor. You heard the story of Usman Danfodio. You heard the story of I'll remove you, I'll do this, I'll do that. Everybody were just aligning. Now, how come? What is different? Is this not the same governor? Is this not the same powers of the governor? Is this one a lesser governor?
But the Commissioner for Information, you said, seemed to be was the Commissioner for Information?
That was the crux of the matter.
Nominated by
exactly your Commissioner for Information. There are those workers that are supposed to come from you. For instance, Commissioner for Information, and the governor said, "This man is a professional. This man is experienced. Let me fix him to work for me." And that was what broke the cabinet's back. That was the issue. So people should come and tell you what is going on. And I know that people are knowledgeable enough. They are aware. And that's why you see this organic support by everybody in Rivers State.
This support, many are questioning because there are those who are calling on the government to understand what is the plan for youths. And that's your ministry. Tech, entertainment, fashion, movies, sports. These are all areas where youths, entrepreneurs, etc., etc. Many would say in the 1 year that we've had, 4 months. Let's use how the governor puts it. We haven't seen a clear-cut direction for what the plans would be for youths of Rivers State. Are there any that we need to know about?
Well, if you hear me, that's expressly why I'm here, and I want to congratulate Rivers Youth, and I want to thank His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, for allowing me himself to be used as an instrument for liberation and for the development of Rivers people. If you hear me, what we see as governance is always, like I said, infrastructure, brick, and all that, But this governor has come to settle for welfare of the people, and those are palpable areas that we need to work on, especially at this precarious time that Nigeria is standing between the wall and a hard place. The governor was into office, appointed us, and reposed the responsibility of reaching out to Rivers Youth that it will not be business as usual. We know you've lost hope in successive administrations, especially the past 8 years, and I will tell you, I have all the records that for 8 years, what we had was recycling of the Ministry of Youth, where I am sitting now.
What exact something for bringing this up? I was going to ask you what was in place with the past administration with regards to the ministry exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You need to come there. Life is beginning to come back. It was like a ghost
town.
By
recycle budget, what do you mean?
Let me tell you. Recycling of budget is no addition, no subtraction. All you need to do is superimpose what you have in the previous year in the budget. No approval. No.
You just change the year.
Yes, just change the year, and I have the records. I'm not saying I have.
So if there was a budget, at least whether it's proposed old or new or whatever, it means that money should have been released. Or the budget just a document.
Ends on that's if you recall, Rivers people were always questioning the budget of Rivers State. We want to see our budget. What is for this sector? What is for that sector? And I tell you, my predecessor is now the essay to governor on waste management. If he comes here and I'll open up, my brother, you will know that for 8 years, no approval for the Ministry of Youth. You can go there, even the roofs are dropping. The roofs are so dilapidated. The place is like a ghost town that before now. And now when we came, none of us approval. We came up with a framework of action which we call a preparedness plan for time from unemployability to resourcefulness. He expressly approved that we go around the local government and advocate and tell the youth that it won't be business as usual, that there's still hope.
So what are these programs and what is the budget now?
Exactly. Let me just allow me to do it. Now we went around the 23 local, except for about 5 local governments that their chairmen were recalcitrant. Can I tell you? Emohwa, Ikwere, Ileme, Akotoro, and Omoma. The chairman refused us from coming. And these are things that will benefit their so-called successors. You understand? So we went around and told them, see the plans of the governor. What is the plan? The plan is embedded in our framework of action. Number 1, we are going into the construction of what we call RIFC-REC, Rivers State Youth Resourcefulness Center or Resource Center. That is what the governor is going to flag off on Tuesday next week.
What would that be doing?
That is an all-encompassing project, like a school that will bridge the gap of academics. What we have in our tertiary institution does not cushion the effect of what society needs. This is going to bridge the gap between the society and academics.
So it's basically skill acquisition.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's not like the usual skill acquisition.
Because I know we have a skill acquisition.
Let me outline.
Center.
Hold on. Let me outline the 4 areas.
Okay.
We have 4 cardinal areas. Number 1 is, like you said, skill acquisition. It's not like the skill acquisition that you go train and they'll give you one small starter pack and you go out there and sell it off. This one is training to engage, not training to dump. That is the paradigm. This paradigm
so
now.
What would they be training?
We are training them on contemporary skills, solar energy, CNG gas, electric cars. Of course, we can use waste to manufacture things like interlocking stones. All those newer innovation. The place will be a self-sustaining complex that will encompass not just the skill acquisition, ICT. Artificial intelligence is the order of the day. ICT is an integral part. Entrepreneurship, and the latest one in our research now is come back to sport. Because youths, most of youth, of course, they say exuberance is the prerogative of youth. Most of the youth now cannot, with what they have seen, with the exposure, with the vulnerability, with taking into drugs and all that, which I'll come into, they cannot, engage in usual skill acquisition. So some of those will go into combative sports. I tell you what, do you know that some of these infrastructures are in place, but they've been abandoned?
Where are they?
I can tell, go to Amasimieka Stadium and see what the penultimate governor Amechi did. We have hockey, we have long tennis, we have named the sports. They are rotting away. And that is the area where we are citing this project by the old Port Harcourt hotel, airport hotel. That's where we're coming to flag off, so that we'll explore what is there and we'll bring them to bear. As in, we renovate.
What about entertainment? Because we know that music, movies.
I said it's all encompassing. When you come in there, we are going to start first from behavioral modification, because of what society has thrown out of the youth. Like I tell you what, Aristotle said that the youth are easily deceived because they are quick to believe. When successive administration abandoned, relegated the youth, all they need them is during election. Now we're not going into election. We have at least 3 years to tell you that a governor and government that is focused and responsive. Now we are going to bring them. We intend to train over 20,000 youths, and if you delineate it into our ward, we have 319 wards. You have at least 60 youths from each ward. That's what we want to do. And before this construction phase is in partnership with a foreign.
I was going to ask. If you have
it's
those
in partnership with a foreign partner, Osborne Nigeria Limited, right? US based. That's again to tell you that this governor has attracted so much trust from outside.
I also see that the FDI is part of it.
Yeah. Of course, when you have foreign investors, the consortium, they have companies are talking about investment, employment, and all of those. Those are what they're bringing to bear.
So while all of these are granted the flag of, what would the youth be doing before then?
Beautiful. Excellency Sasim Nala Ifobara, in our budget, like you asked, we have stated our action plan, and action plans, and as a window how we intend to achieve. We are going in. We have it's emphasis. We are kicking off as we flag off. We will continue with the thing of our youths. I said we are going to with various modification, and we need to delineate them. This capable, of course, we have skill development, like this. As you're talking about, those are development.
Because we do not have the facilities, warehouses where you have inbuilt studios to do these sort of things. Don't you think that if the government had one or two of those big, I don't know if you've seen how these sectors look like. You have those that patron at different sets. It's almost like a TV station, if you want to show it that way. And then you have entertainment. People from different parts of the world fly over. It's like when people go to South Africa to shoot movies or shoot music videos because they have these facilities. As the government looked towards your ministry that invested in these areas or bringing things like this to Rivers State, we also don't even have arenas. We have some event centers. We don't even have these arenas. That your ministry is looking at to say, let's tap to the entertainment business. The world now, which is clearly most majority of the youth are heading into.
Entertainment is a spectrum itself, is large, vastly, and of course we are happy on it. I tell you, go and go everything at the same. What we do is to create talents. Now we have entered an MOU with partnership with NDDC, and this is doing part of this. And we also have consultants that have written to us. If you remember, we have 108 companies that applied different areas of specialization, different skills and sectors. So this creative part of it.
All right. Let's on the phone lines and get some calls now. 0817923 and 08179230007. Just you can ask your questions or you just make your opinion heard. As go straight to the point. While we wait on those calls, some of the messages coming in on Facebook already. If you haven't joined us on Facebook, please do this one. This person says. How is ministry sustainable and will not go down the drain as always? The resource center, I mean. Someone says that's from Amize Michael. He also says it's true of youth all about conducting and supervising a local election, though there is more to unveil. Nathan says I agree with the commissioner in the studio because those enemies of River State cannot come out and express the reason for act. Let's quickly on to Joe Bugoma. Please, let's be very short and straight to the point with your question.
Problem, Andrew. Good morning.
Good morning.
See, Andrew, I was supposed to from another area. But let me based on the youth angle. I think the government of same I pray. I'm on my knee begging that you pay attention to the youth, just like your guest is saying. It look as if they have enough for the youth. See, skill is one thing. You understand? Today, certificate does not pay. But if you provide an enabling environment for skillful activities, where the youth of Rivers State are being. Andrew, do you know that I am a practical builder? I don't acquire that knowledge from a higher institution. But I set out buildings. That is what takes me from one place to the other. I build buildings that I will do the
all right, George.
Aspect from
George,
the
point noted. But I would also advise you that you go get certified also, so that
the government should pay attention to skill aspects and
Thank you.
empower the youth of Rivers State.
Stanley from Elele, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go on.
Yes, your guest. Let me greet your guest. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, you said that the governor took over 4 months ago, but the other 8 months, he and Wike was in charge. He nominated commissioners. He nominated everything. Now, the governor is in charge. But what worries me, or I'm still surprised that since the governor is now in charge, how come the governor is still nominating the same people who work with Ian Wike? Honorable Solomon Eke is Wike's boy. Tafi Luka Amade was former commissioner for works in Rivers State under Ian Wike. Tambari Sidney was the spokesperson of PDP. He worked under Wike. The same Tambari Sidney was also singing the same praises you're singing for our governor today. He did the same thing that day. How come? Why didn't the governor, since he is in charge, why didn't he nominate fresh people other than the same people who worked under Wike? Then you're talking about the local government chairman. I want to ask you, why did the governor withhold the allocation of the local government chairman?
Let's go to Yenegua now.
David,
thank you. My guest will respond before we wrap up. David, good morning.
Yeah, greetings to you from the city of Yenegua.
Go ahead, David.
My name is David West. You see, sometimes when as guests or people we talk, in the course of our issues we raise, we create more problems for our principal or our own self. I say this because when I listened to your guest this morning now, looking at the revelations he made, he was another commissioner also, an appointee under the former governor, His Excellency Ian Wike, and he's telling us that the ministry he headed, the youth ministry, what does he call it again? He gave it one title, I've forgotten the name. The budget was,
No, David, I think you misunderstood what he was saying. What he said was he did not head a ministry. Ministry of Youth and Sports is Youth Development and Employment is what is heading now. Now he said that he was nominated. He was nominated by the former governor in the administration of this governor, as well as other commissioners were all nominated by the former governor.
Yes.
But he says now that he's commissioner for Youth Employment and Development in Rivers State. He now got to find out that whoever was occupying that office before, and that begin to see some of the shady things that were done in that ministry now that he's there.
In that ministry, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Let me take up on this, sir. I'm
just quick with the question, please.
Thank you, sir. All these revelations he is talking, they were the same people who were telling us Chisom was the best. Chisom was this. Because under their very nose, none of them came out to tell the public what we're saying today. Forgetting that the governor today, His Excellency Sinalaye Fubara, was the accountant general of the state. I also have questions to answer. If monies were not released to the ministry, the budgets were being given, then somebody retired that money. Somebody gave cover-up note or whatever to say that, yes, monies have been released.
All right, David.
So I don't understand when we begin to talk like this.
Let's go to Ida in Nkoro. We have to move on. David, thank you. Ida from Nkoro, good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
You're welcome.
I greet my guest in the studio. The thing the righteous, the people rejoice. Since this man take over as commissioner for youth, every year is booming. I have to plead with him
please, in Koro youth, and not be carrying along. Please, it should help us. And I make one day, they are doing our this thing at reception. Please, I help people from Koro. Carry our youth along. Please. Thank you very much. God bless you. That from Koro.
All right, Ida, thank you very much. Mufasa is on the line now. Good morning, Mufasa.
Yeah, hi, Andrew. Good morning.
Good morning. Go on.
And good morning to the Honorable in the studio. Well, mine is just commendation. You know, I want to commend your guest for finding the courage to come out to speak truth to power. Now, a lot of people are saying that this person worked for the former administration, this person didn't work for the former administration. This is the time for governance. Everybody has moved on. Even this current governor worked under the former administration. And I don't see why we should make a fuss about it. So for me, I want to urge your guest to do whatever it takes to empower the youth, to carry the youth along. He has started doing it, but we want him to consolidate on that. That's my position this morning.
JJ.
Have a nice day.
Good morning, JJ.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew, and good morning to the guest in the studio. I call him King of the Youth. I want to say that this allegation of things not properly done, I think it should be part of the probe that the governor has already promised the Rivers people. And somebody talked about some persons coming back and they have worked on that weekend before. Are they not Rivers people? If you have done very well, then there are people who always say that good music is played twice so that people can understand very well. So I don't see anything wrong in people coming back or people not coming back. Thank you very much.
JJ, thank you. Quickly now, as we attempt to wrap up, you heard the callers and some of the questions. So, in under 2 minutes, as we wrap up, what's your response?
Well, basically, I'll tell Rivers Youth first that Robert Greene, a wise man, once said that the future belongs to those who learn more skills and apply it in a very creative way. We are open, we are planned, and we are ready now to train Rivers Youth without prejudice, without political connotation or whatever. I tell you what, that we are all from the same family, the same political family. And what we have is difference in ideology, right? A wise man once said that the worst place in hell is reserved for those who remain neutral when issues of moral conflict are discussed. This is a moral conflict, and some of us who have seen the truth and the light and say that we must stay with this governor. The governor means well. It's not like when they will tell you go forward and do this and another thing is happening behind. The youth of Rivers State, this is a time for you to brace up and come. Like the person, my brother that called from Koro, I urge you to come to the Ministry of Youth. If your body is not registered, come and register, because we are not doing this from the thin air.
Right,
we have youth bodies registered.
Thank you very much. Commercial, the news, and Hello Port Harcourt is next. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The great flex about going